All right, brother.
Okay, first episode.
Episode
Let's get
one.
her in.
Let's go. So, dude, you picked up a new whip this
Got,
week.
got the whip. So yeah. So
Tell
what
me
I
about
was
it.
what I was thinking. Hmm, Before that about the story. Actually, I was thinking about. I was talking to some buddies. One of my buddies back home. But that's what I was saying is So like there's it's called the vacuum law of prosperity. So it's like where you take, say if you have your closets full of clothes and it's your old clothes, and then you take your old clothes out, what makes the room for the new clothes, right?
Hmm.
So I was thinking about it. I was thinking that same thing goes, but it also goes with your friends. So I was telling my buddies, I was telling my sister that, and that's what I said. I said if you had, say if, for example, God gave you, He gave you room for five friends, five close, tight friends. Okay, and then say you got like five of those friends are from the first 10 years of your life growing up, right? You're going to be completely different than those people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in order to have room for the new ones to come, you have to get rid of the old ones. You have to if you want like a good amount of new ones. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that. I was like, so so just throughout the years, whatever, about like anything like that would be with the clothes. I get rid of all my old clothes. I get new ones, and then I think about that with friends. There's certain people that you just have to know when they're not benefiting you for whatever that is where you're headed on your journey, right, or your vision. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I said to one of my buddies last night. I was like, why were the reason why we were all best friends growing up, grade 9, 10, 11, 12, why were we all best friends? Because we had the same vision. And our vision was just to get fucked up on Friday night.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I stopped drinking, I got a different vision and then went down a different path. But now it's always, I was actually reading this book and they were talking about your mental plane. Whatever your thoughts are on your mental plane, you will attract like thoughts. So just say for example, if me and you went to a brand new city, we'd be surrounded by guys that hit the gym, that are motivated, want to be the best version of themselves, obsessed about business. You just meet all these same people.
Hmm.
So it's like no matter what happens, you're gonna attract those same people to you. But anyways, so the story about my whip.
Maybe we do a quick intro
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So, welcome to episode one of the podcast. I'm Jeremy. I've got an online coaching and consulting company, and it's my buddy Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Kyle Iwanchewski. Um, what could I say? I'm transitioning right now. I was online fitness coach, and now I'm transitioning to be a online barbering coach, and that's my background. I got 7 years in the barber industry, so got that wrapped up. So now we're gonna transition to online and help a lot of people, help a lot of barbers grow through the online platforms.
It's such a good offer. I'm telling you, like,
You're
it's
saying
such a good offer.
it's
Like,
so good.
when was that? Like a couple weeks ago. Literally, we were here, and we just came up with the whole offer. It was just like 5 hours. We were just like
Just
just
hit,
in flow state, and we
just
just
hit.
came up with it, and
Mm.
like that was that.
Hmm.
And now everything's just crystal clear. And
It's so clear.
yeah.
You know what the craziest thing is? I was thinking, so over this last, since I seen you last couple of weeks, that thought that I had about like going back to barbering, I was resisting it.
Mm.
I was resisting that thought so hard, so hard. And then like when that day kind of all made sense and clicked, then I like allowed that thought to come. So that's what I was talking to my one buddy Brady about. Was
Hmm.
we were talking about like, if you had a thought that was kind of like you think, nope, nope, that's not good for me, nope, nope, and you keep resisting it, and it's like, why are you resisting that thought? That thought is made for you,
Mm.
right? So then that's the same thing. I was like, the story with this Range Rover, I'll tell you. But I got my sister to book a ticket. I woke up in the one morning, a plane ticket, and I was like, kind of had this sick feeling in my stomach. And I was thinking about like the payment for the vehicle and how I was going to pay it and da da da, all these just that typical type of fear shit.
Oh yeah.
And then the thought in my head said, you're going to have to go back to cutting hair if you want to get this vehicle. And I was like, no, I can't. I was fighting that thought of cutting hair. And then I seen my buddy in the airport just divinely, and I told him that I was battling with some thoughts, and he's like, bro, he's like, allow those thoughts to happen and come to you. He's like, they're coming to you for a reason.
Mm.
And I was like, so I started thinking, I was like, yeah, I was like, well, if I do my online mentoring, I'm like, I need to first have a place to create content, like a studio, And then thirdly, I was like, well, first I need to increase my prices and do the system that I'm going to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, oh, I got to do that first. And in that meantime, when me doing that, I'll make some money to cover the cost of my living. And plus, I'm getting all that content refreshing my mind for the course.
Mm.
So I was like, by the time I got off the flight, I was just like, oh man, heart was racing. I was just like, fuck yeah, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like looking
Yeah.
to get a studio.
Well, dude, I just a day or two ago, I think, or maybe it was earlier this week, I saw a place next door, 2 bedroom.
In the one?
Yeah,
Really? What floor?
not too sure.
Really?
It wasn't this high up, but
Mm.
it was up there enough.
So
Facing that way.
was it facing that way?
It's pretty nice.
So we gotta get higher than this.
I know. That's what I'm thinking too, man.
Fuck yeah.
I ain't going
You gotta be
lower.
20 plus.
Oh yeah.
25, bro. Yeah, man.
We're not downgrading, I'll
Fuck
tell
no.
you that.
I ain't going down.
Nope.
I ain't going down floors, bro. Just going up floors.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, dude. But that's an interesting thought about like resisting that thought, because it sounds like that thought was kind of planted and kind of like you kept kind of burying it
Mm-hmm.
for months and months,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was kind of similar for me, like when I was doing my high ticket sales job and like online coaching, working for somebody else. There was always the thought of like even 10 months ago when we were sitting here,
Mm.
I was like, oh, I like kind of want to start my own coaching business and whatnot. But then I just kept I kept resisting. I kept telling myself, oh, I'm not ready. I'm not qualified. Like, who's going to buy from me? And there's all these limiting beliefs and like all this stuff. And I just kept kind of pushing it down. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it just,
The more you suppress it, the more you get depressed. Even just a
exactly.
thought. It's not.
Yeah.
You think I'm like. I think like,
Huh.
is that a thought even that I'm having? Did I create this thought, or did it just come to me?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it just came to me. And that's the thing is like at the say this year, like I did all my online coaching, did my bodybuilding prep, all that. But then I hit a point where I was just didn't want to do it anymore. I was just super unhappy. I didn't want to do it anymore. And then like
Mm-hmm.
I started having the idea like, oh, you should go back to cutting hair. And then I kept thinking that like if I went back to cutting hair, that would just be like a way out for me. You know, it would just be like, oh, this got too hard. This is my way out. But now
Yeah.
looking at it, it's not, because where I'm at, like I know in my heart I wouldn't be able to scale and grow an
Mm-hmm.
online fitness coaching business,
Yeah.
right? But
100%.
I gathered what I had to. But that's why like at the maybe for like a couple like over the summer I was a little depressed because I was
Mm.
suppressing that thought.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I can't. Nope, I can't. You told yourself no. But the craziest thing
Huh.
is like I said, it was like probably a year and a half ago. I did I did a meditation, a deep meditation that I did, and I came out of the meditation and and I had said to the girl who I was dating at the time, after the meditation, I said I wanted to sell my barbershops. I wanted to get fitness coaching from Wes. I had to get in shape, and then I knew from there that I actually have it written down in one of my journals.
Hmm.
Then I wanted to get his fitness coaching, business coaching,
Right.
to become a online fitness coach. Then what I said, I wanted to become the best fitness coach that I could. And then I remember saying to her um, that I also want to create the Barber Mentor, which I did in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember saying to her that I was like, um, I could make more money if I was just had my own private studio. If I could just cut hair by myself, I could do 5 cuts a day, make crazy money off it because I'd increase my prices, and then I could have time to go do my other shit. And that's just where really my brain had took me. And then now I'm here,
Yeah.
and now it's like always God has a even better. Like there's the increment of that we're doing, but then like what He's giving me is even. It's like the course is even better, bro. I'm just like, holy fuck, I couldn't have dreamed this in my wildest dreams. But for the craziest part was
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half ago, I knew probably the 6 steps that I've taken. So like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I wanted to do the fitness coaching and then I wanted to do the barber mentor. So it's like I have to let go. I have to let go of that. Just like I let go of those shops, I get to do my online coaching. Now I'm like, let go of that, move into this. So I've been doing some meditations lately. I'm like, okay, I'm like, where am I going to be, say, 2 years from now? And the craziest thing is like the meditation I do is like it's telling me like it's the craziest thing, Jeremy. It's like telling me once I have the course, the vision's mine.
Hmm.
It's like that's the last step I have to do to get my vision.
I'm in the exact same boat right now because with my offer, it's like I kind of pre-sold it before I had a course built.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 20% of the way through, and even just like I started like 3 weeks ago, I've done fairly well. Like
Very well.
20K cash. I'll probably hit 30 next week.
Let's go. Give it those. Let's go.
Yeah, it's been nuts, and it's like, yeah, the
You're just warming up though.
I'm just getting warmed up. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
and it's like I haven't even been. That's all just been inbound. I haven't sent a single like message out to anybody. It's just all been inbound. I hardly have an audience right now either,
True.
and it's just
No
like
ads.
no ads,
No
not
ads.
yet.
All
I, I
organic.
I just turned them on, but my account's warming up, so like I'm spending hardly anything right now. But yeah, it's just been all organic, and like obviously I'm teaching that to my clients that I have on board right now. But yeah, and like all the pieces are coming together for the course, and now I
Mm.
just need to kind of like really just hash it out, and then just
Mm.
like just record it, just
Mm-hmm.
finish it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like right now it's insane. Like guys are going through it and like signing clients in like 3 days.
Mm.
Like, and that's how I structured and how I built it. And now it's just like, all right, we got the results. Now let's actually build like a strong foundation to then be able to actually scale like 50, 100K a month and build like a real business.
Yeah.
But yeah, like not to kind of take over here. But that's kind of like where my mindset's been too. It's like that's like kind of the one thing that's between me and just going absolutely crazy with scaling. It's just like before well, I need we need to be able to handle scale. It's
Exactly.
like I don't want to just make a ton of sales, get a bunch of people to pay me money, and then destroy my reputation and not be around in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I want every single client that goes through to have an incredible experience
Yep.
and get the results that they're paying for.
Yep.
And like there's I heard Alex Hormozy say this a few weeks ago, and he's like, the wider the base of your pyramid is, the stronger your foundation, the taller you can build.
Mm.
And that's really stuck with me. It's like,
Yep.
even over the next few months, if I don't have any like crazy big months or anything, it's like, I don't care because I know I'm just building the foundations.
Yes.
Like a year or two from now, it's like, there won't be any competition,
100%.
you know?
And just like you're saying that, that's why like one thing for myself that I've been lately has just been like super calm and chill, super relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
Just looking back at the success that I've had with my barbershops from the beginning and like from these stories that have been just like how I got my Range Rover and stuff like that was I'm just like there's no competition because all of that was meant for me. So there's no rush, there's no competition because even if you gave someone a good idea, they stole your idea, they wouldn't be able to execute it as well because their heart isn't in it. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't an idea that was sent to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even I think about like say like I could be rushing to say get this course created. I'm like no, it'll all happen in the perfect time, just like everything else has. And I got all the success from, but at the right time, that when you'll that day that you're like I'm just gonna shoot this video, boom, you'll just have like that right, inspiration to shoot that specific video on that certain thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where you weren't meant to do it 2 weeks before, you meant to do it on that day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just keep
Hmm.
thinking about that, about like checklists, because if I think like I remember when before I came and moved out here to Kelowna, there was a barbershop that just opened up out here and it was dope. It's like one of the nicer shops in town. And I remember not even living here, but having the vision, living in Edson and looking at that. And I kind of was like I was a little bummed out. Like I was like, man, like these guys are kind of going to take what I want, what I'm supposed to come and be there and taking,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And instantly it kind of bummed me out and it kind of bummed my vision out. And then I was like, no, 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 I got my own vision. I got my own plan set. Those guys can do their thing. And then I came and like literally, it's crazy to say, but my little shop, we mopped those guys up. And I was maybe, the shop was like, in comparison, like looks and aesthetics and stuff was maybe
Mm.
20% of what that shop was.
Wow.
Yeah. but I had coming in with a lot of heart behind it.
Mm.
And that's what, and then picked my shit right up. Right. And then actually I was talking to the guy who owns that shop the other day, and that's what I had noticed, that I was like, just by talking to them, I had noticed that that's what had got me to where I was at, was my heart.
Mm. I find it like a lot of people that you see online, especially like kind of in like the business coaching space, marketing, all of that, kind of the whole make money online kind of niche. There's a lot of people there that like you can tell they're in it with the wrong intentions.
Mm,
They're in it for the wrong reasons.
for sure.
And you can tell it's like I'm just like people are just like I'm just here to make money.
Yeah.
They're not actively saying that,
Mm,
but like if you kind of read between the lines, you can tell.
you can tell.
You can tell
You can
100%.
tell.
And then there's the people who are like actually in it because they love it, because like that's what's meant for them, and you can tell that as well.
They love it. That's who they are.
Yeah.
Like yourself. Like yourself, I see for you, you are a salesman. Like you know sales, right?
Yeah.
So I see it. So it's like, of course you can help so many people because it's coming from your heart. You're not
Mm.
like trying to sell them. It's like, just say for example, like say like, and nothing against nobody who's a fitness person working, but like it worked great for me because I already had 10 years experience. But imagine if you just like, and even I only did for 7 months. And imagine someone who just like, oh, I kind of like fitness.
Mm.
I'm just gonna put this into my business because I'm gonna make some money off it because everyone's making money off this, right? They could have a lot of heart in it, and it could take them. But if your heart isn't, if that isn't who you really are, like, and that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I was thinking is like God's will and my will would be like, I'm going to do this to make a bunch of money. But God's will is like, you're going to help out all of these people
Mm.
doing what I've given you, say X amount of years of all of your gifts. You're going to help these people get these gifts, and then you're going to make the money from it.
Yeah. That's a really great point, man. Like when you approach something from the perspective of like I'm here to serve, the money will come.
Mm,
Like 3 weeks ago I made a YouTube video just kind of like going over my whole vision.
mm,
Here's the vision for my company. Here's the problems that I'm solving. Because me personally, I fucking hate sending cold DMs to people. I don't want to spend 3 hours a day in the DMs, right? So I was like, how can I get the results that I want without that?
mm.
And so I created a solution for that. And turns out other people also hate the same thing as me.
Big time.
And like, it's just I just kind of laid it out. I was like, here's why I'm doing this. Here's the vision. Here's what I want to create to achieve our goals without all the things we hate. Because like I don't know, I love coaching. Like today I had 3 1-on-ones with some of my clients. I made one of them cry because he was just so grateful. It was like incredible, man. It's like that shit fires me up.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'd take 1-to-ones all day long if I could,
Big
if I
time.
had the time. If that was like the most scalable, like high leverage activity I could.
Mm.
Unfortunately, at scale, it's not.
No.
Um, but nonetheless, like leading with that value is like people can see that, and a lot of
Mm.
time that's what attracts them to you to come to hire you as a coach or to work with you to like to help them solve their problems because like when people see the value, then the price kind of becomes almost irrelevant.
Big time. Big time. Especially when, like you say, doing the one-on-one calls. Like if you do those one-on-one calls and you get in that flow state, oh man, it's like, oh shit, 4 hours has just gone by.
Literally.
Like that's what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
When you're not in that flow state at all, like that's what I was thinking is like, even like I've had this whole new outlook on life, and I was telling you about last time. I was like, as I just wake up and it's like, I'm like, as soon as I don't feel like doing something, I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Yeah, I
Like
remember
it's
this.
it's insane to think, but I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna continue to live my life like this because every day that I went into those barbershops, I actually wanted to be there for probably 6.5 years.
Mm,
I wanted to be there.
mm,
And then just a little bit at the end, I did not want to be there. And that's when I was like, I gotta get out.
yeah.
Right. So then that was like this year
Mm,
too. Like there was times when I was like, I did not want to be in the gym. Then why are you going?
yeah.
It's like you're doing more damage mentally by trying to push yourself through it it's just like, it's like, you know, I think about it, it's like, well, maybe
Hmm.
that energy that's supposed to go into that thing is supposed to go somewhere else right now. Something that gets my heart fired up even more.
Hmm.
And then I was thinking, like, the other day, I was like, what do you want to do today? I said, if I'm like, you can do anything you want. What do you want to do? And I was like, I just want to sit and think. It's like, go hard. I literally sat here for 4 hours, looked out at the view, and just thought. I was like, how many people would feel bad? Well, I have to be doing something. I have to be doing something that's making me money.
Hmm.
This very well could be, right?
Oh, 100%.
Or it's always got to be like I got just caught up in that, my daily program of like having to do something all the time. But I was like, fuck. If you're not in love with your process, your daily routine, then you have to love it. You have to.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, like, I was thinking about, it was like when I very first moved here, because I was looking at some old videos, and like I was like driving to work, and then I'd work all day, and then I'd go to the gym, and then I'd go in the dry sauna, I'd have a shower after. I just had this amazing day. And like you said just earlier, and that's what Wes had said on a call when I was on him, is he said, um um shit, I just lost my train of thought. Come on.
When you love it, when you love the process.
And that's what I was just thinking about. I was like, yeah, I was in a flow state then, and it was so good.
Mm.
um
Do you think it's because, do you think you get in the flow
It'll come
state
back
when
to
you're
me.
like learning something new and when you're kind of tackling a new challenge?
Mm,
And then when you feel like you've already done that and kind of like you've arrived almost and you plateau, do you
for
think
sure.
that's kind of when you lose that
Yeah. it's
that
it's like
excitement?
a job, when you're looking at the clock, or when you're in school and you're looking at the clock,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be there.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be doing something else. Because this, imagine if you were doing something else that your heart was actually into, what the result that you would get out of that.
Hmm.
Instead of sitting, I remember sitting in class looking at that clock every 5 minutes, or work a job where you're looking at the clock. Oh, it's only 3. Oh, it's 3:05. Oh, it's 3:10.
Yeah.
Oh, like, that's what I was thinking. Like, say with
Hmm.
employees, if I have someone that shows up late consistently over and over again, or I'll just do them a favor and fire them,
Hmm.
because you don't have the balls to quit and go do what it is that you want to do. So I'll just fire you, and then you can go do it, because I know you don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to be here, you'd be here early. You'd be excited,
Hmm.
right? Whatever that you're doing that you're meant to do, you'd be excited to do it.
Yeah. I love that.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's it. I see people, I remember guys, they'd be like, come in late or this or that, or they'd have some bullshit excuse. And
Hmm.
then 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, they end up putting in their notice. They wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So it's like, it makes perfect sense. Because every
Mm.
time that you can force yourself to go do something, but how fun is that?
For only so long as well, I
Fuck, you start
find.
getting depressed because you're lying to yourself
Yeah.
every day. You wake up, you're lying to yourself.
Yep.
You're like, I don't want to do this, but you're like, I have to. But who says you have to? Who? Who programmed us and told us that we have to? We have to do things we don't want to do. Fuck that. I'm only doing things I want to do.
I love it, dude. Over the last few years, there's been like two major transition points in kind of like my business work career, and both of them are almost like identical. Like, I started an advertising agency, and my goal was like grow that and get a bunch of clients and like scale, right? And that's exactly what I did. I was able to do that. I hired a business coach because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So I hired somebody who did, who could just tell me how to do it. It's like 5 months of trying it on my own,
Mm,
zero results, zero clients, and then hired a business coach. 5 weeks in, had a 9K week, and then like hired a team member, scaled up, and it was awesome. And then a few months later, I was like, okay, this kind of sucks. Like, I was working with mortgage brokers, doing lead gen for them, Facebook ads, pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
yeah.
And I was like, it got to the point where I'd sign a client, they'd pay me money, and the thought would be like, fuck, now I got to deliver. Now I got to set up all the, like the whole system. I got to do
Mm,
all the stuff.
mm,
And once I identified that thought, I'm like, I got to stop.
mm,
And I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do though. Because it's like, I've got all these clients making money. And now it's like, well, what's next? I have no idea. It was just cloudy. It was just foggy. And I was like, wow, I don't know what to do, but I know I can't keep doing this. And then like one opportunity came up, like the guy that I hired, Trey, he was like, dude, you want to join the team as a coach? Like you've done well growing your own business. Do you want to help my clients like do the same thing? I was like, sure.
Yep.
Why the hell not? Like
Mm.
never done this in my life, but I'll give it a
Mm-hmm.
go. And then started doing that, and then I started really loving it. It was just like so much fun. And it was like I look forward to coaching calls because it's like I love that creative problem solving. Every client's different in a completely different spot, and just like really just kind of like cracking the code every single time. And then I was like, then I still kept signing more agency clients, and each one I was like, fuck, now I got to do the work. And then I got to the point where I'm like, all right, I just drew a line in the sand because I was in limbo. I was like, I'm doing this. I got the whole agency here. It's like a ball and chain
Mm.
wrapped around my ankle, holding
Mm-hmm.
me back,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't run towards where I want to go.
100%.
And then there's this other thing here that I like doing a lot more, but I can't fully focus and commit on that because I got this other thing. And it wasn't until I just like kind of broke the shackles. I called every single one of my clients that day. I said, hey, like, just letting you know, I'm shutting down the agency.
It's over.
Like, that's it. I can
Yep.
coach you. I can train you up on how to keep managing everything,
Yep.
or I can connect you with my ads guy so he can just like you can just work directly with him. But I'm moving on to different things. Some of
Yeah.
them were giving me some pushback for sure because they're
Oh
like, "What do
yeah.
you mean?"
What do you mean?
It's like
I
this
need
is my
you.
business, yeah. And but I made sure I took care of them, and then transitioned over, started doing sales as well, and then my closing rate skyrocketed. And I
Mm.
just like took off.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that for the last year and a bit. But then it got to the point over the last few months where I was like, oh, I got a sales call coming up. Oh, I got a coaching call coming up. Right. And that, like, that brain and heart coherence wasn't there anymore.
Mm-mm.
So I was like, ah, I got to stop doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when, but like, we had a conversation or like months ago. And I was kind of telling you this. And I was like, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what that next step is. And I was like, I think I'm just gonna like grind it out for a few more months, build up my audience, like keep making content, blah blah blah, and then like go from there. And then you called me out on my bullshit. You're like, dude, you're trying to go from comfort to comfort, but there's no growth in comfort,
Mm.
and that just fucking hit me, bro.
That
And
was
then
what you needed.
the next day I got on a call and I quit. I'm not
Fuck
even
yeah.
kidding. I said, dude, just letting you know, I'm done. I stayed on for another I did stay on for another couple months because like there's just some personal stuff on his end. I didn't want to leave him hanging or anything like that.
Yep.
And I just wanted to make sure like didn't burn any bridges. That he was
Yep.
all good and like kind of gave me some time to figure it out. But I did make that decision. Said, hey, like
Mm.
this is it.
Yep.
And and then I had no idea what I was gonna do. Originally, I was thinking about becoming like a discipline or like a masculinity coach for guys, like something like that. Like,
Yep.
and then I was like, well, I don't know if that's it. And and then yeah, literally like it's funny though. Once I got out of that limbo zone, it was like literally the last week or like the week after I took my very last sales call. It was a nice little, pretty big paid in full. I like just went out with a bang.
Yep.
Um, the following week, I was like, all right, that's it. I have zero income now.
Mm.
I gotta get I gotta get cracking.
Yep.
And then literally made a YouTube video or like went to a coffee shop, just hammered it out, the whole structure and everything for like 4 hours. I was like, all right, this is it.
Mm.
Flow state, just went nuts.
Yep.
Got everything on a piece of paper. Next
Yep.
day, recorded a YouTube video. Said,
Boom.
all right, here it is. Boom. And then now 3 weeks later, done over 20K cash. Just got a verbal for like I got 8K coming next week, paid in full.
Yep.
And yeah, probably a couple more trickling through.
Yep.
It's like
That's amazing.
it's like when
You answer the call.
I answered the call. That's it.
You answer
Yeah.
the call.
And like
And
yeah.
like I think like you just said in that whole story is like when you're in the flow state, you're gathering what you need for the next level. And then as soon as it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore,
Hmm.
that's your sign that you have gotten what you needed, and now it's time to make the move.
Yeah, 100%. Because I felt like my sales skills could only get extremely marginally better
Better.
from where they were at. So I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I kind of been there, done that,
Hmm.
and plateaued.
And that
Same with
was
coaching.
the skill
Boom.
set that you needed. If you didn't have that, you couldn't be where you're at.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah. And
100%.
like you said, one thing I was thinking before, like when you're in limbo, one thing I've been thinking a lot of lately and forever was, I heard this great saying that says, "The man who chases two rabbits at once catches none,"
Yeah.
and that's so true. I don't know. I give it credit to guys. I'm not at that level yet where they can own multiple businesses, right? That's some crazy shit because like even I think even when I had
Hmm.
two shops, it was a lot harder than just one. But if I was doing say online fitness coaching and online barber mentoring, there's one's gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
Even already that I've been transferring my energy into what I'm going to be doing, I've already noticed that my fitness coaching has taken a hit. For sure, I'm not there as much,
Hmm.
right? So I'm thinking about this new venture. So it like comes that time when you have to say, it's like same
Hmm.
thing with when I was cutting hair. It was like I had to tell all my clients, hey, you guys, I'm not cutting any hair. And then it's like there's a lot of people are scared to make that move because they're scared of that loss, about what the people will think. It's
Yeah.
like even I was talking to one of my buddies last night and I was telling him about how I'd be increasing my prices and my goal would be to get to $100 for a haircut, $50 for a beard trim. His jaw kind of dropped. And he's like, whoa, wow, like I won't be able to be one of your clients. I said, that's fine with me. I said, because that's where most people get stuck, is because they're like, oh, I have 200 clients and they all pay me $35 a haircut. And if I charge $100, which would take time to get there, then maybe you might only have one or two of those 100 guys.
Hmm.
So it's like that whole friend group that you have, they're going, see ya. But it's the same thing. Am I still friends? Do I talk to guys every day that I grew up with in the first 10 years of my life, my hometown? Fuck no.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is I look at a lot of people right now that are in my life, and everybody's just temporary for whatever specific point that you're at. Like I said, you're in your elevator, I'm in my elevator, and this fucking thing ain't stopping.
Yeah.
It's only going up. If you think that it's stopping, you're wrong. You can get off.
100%.
Mm,
I was reading the book last night, Good to Great, and in one of the first chapters, it's all about like the people side of the leadership and like what makes companies like great, enduring companies that outperform the market. And one of them was like the leadership side of things, and he was talking about like how a couple of the guys or like how it's more important to get the right people on the bus and then figure out where the bus is going to go,
mm,
then get the like then figure out where the bus is going and then try and like get the people in.
mm,
Because it's like if you think about a bus, it's like if you if you have a destination in mind, you're going to attract people that just like want to go to that specific destination. But like markets change, everything changes. So then once you have to like change direction a little bit with the company, then it's like those guys wanted to go over there, but now you're going over here. So now like they're not going to be as bought in. But if you get the right people on the right bus who are on the bus for like, hey, I want to build an awesome company. I want to be here for the long term and like do something incredible. Like
mm,
it doesn't matter if we're going this way or like it doesn't really matter because like we're here because of the other people that are on the bus
mm-hmm.
as well.
Yep.
And it's like what I remember there was a quote from one of like the CEOs of one of these companies. He was like, here's what like here's what we're doing, here's what it's gonna take from you.
Yep.
And if you're not fully committed, get off the
Get
bus
off.
right now.
Yep.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep. Hire for personality, train for skill.
yep,
Yeah,
one hundred percent.
you can't train personality.
No.
Uh-uh.
Oh, bro, when I started doing sales, I was terrible. I was terrible. A lot of people like see me as like a sales like
Guru.
guru.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
And but like just over a year ago, it's like I was like 0 for 17. I didn't close like I was terrible.
Mm,
But I had the mindset of like I'm going to figure this out.
fuck yeah.
I don't give a shit how long this takes.
Yep.
Every single day, I'd listen to a call record in the morning. I was doing 75. Dude, I was in flow state. I was going nuts.
We're loving it.
Oh yeah. Like I was like in my prime. Like, well, I am now.
This is just one moment.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
one of the
It's like I
moments in
get up
time.
at like 4 or 5 in the morning
Yeah,
and do like an outdoor workout for 75 hard.
yeah.
And I'd listen to a call recording,
Mm.
like a successful closed call, or do some sales training and just have that playing. Take like 8 to 10 hours of sales calls all day, and then do another workout while I do another call recording or more sales training. And I listened to like one of my recordings that didn't close, and I picked apart why didn't this close.
Mm.
So I was just like dissecting. I was like, I'm going to figure this out,
Hmm.
and do that for 12 months.
Oh fuck,
It's gonna be hard to not be good at sales.
big time.
It's like I was terrible,
Yep.
but what I lacked in like natural talent, I made up for with hard work every
That's
single day.
that's huge. That's huge that you say that for all the listeners.
Yeah.
That's a gem, bro. To replay
Mm,
your call recording, and then you can hear like that tone in your voice maybe might have shifted, and then when they started to
yeah.
you weren't as confident, and boom 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 all these types of things, and then yeah you can figure out all of those little. It's like you say, it's like when was on a call with Wes at the start of this year, I knew that all of the information was going to be on that call, so I video recorded it and I listened to it every day,
Mm,
and then it just became a part of me.
yeah.
Then I was just like, this posting protocol is easy, and and then say like people who say I've given it to, and then they haven't followed it exactly, and I think, well, what's the difference? Well, it's because I fucking bumped that call every day for 30 days,
Yeah.
and I just like I became that,
Yeah.
reprogram my mind. It's like you yourself doing that. That's why you got so good at it.
That's it. Just repetition. How do
Repetition,
you make a muscle stronger? More reps.
repetition, more reps,
How do you make your skills stronger? How
more
do you
reps,
That's it.
more reps.
Like that's it.
Yep. And
That's the key.
like you said, that's crazy about that. Um, about like you were trying to figure out what you were going to do for online,
Mm,
and then you're like, at that point, like for yourself, like you're like masculinity coach, so that's something who you are. But I think about it, it's like, but let's just say that, say if you were really focused on that for say a year, but what is something what is something that God has put you through that you're more experienced in?
mm,
It's like that. It's like whatever your strongest skill set is. So that's what Wes said. That's what now it came back to me. He said, just teach what he said. All I've done is just figured out what worked for me, and I just teach it to others.
mm,
So it's just like, well, the biggest strong point, that thing that's helped you in your life, that's worked for you, now just teach that to others, and that's where you'll be worth the most value. So I
mm,
think about myself, like when I say found Wes, he was like 2:45 a.m. wake up, 5 a.m. workout, and all these things, right? So he's done this program, and this has worked for him to get the results that he's got in his life. So he's showing people, if you do this program, then you could get results like me. But here's the thing: is that I did that program and it did work, but
mm.
at the very end of it, my heart wasn't in it because it wasn't my program.
Yeah.
So then I had to think back to like, what is my program? And my program was like how I did for years of owning those shops was, said wake up at say 7:30 or 8 o'clock, have to be at work by 9, and then I just say have breakfast, go straight to work, and then work all day. And as soon as I get off work, I'd have 1 or 2 hours where I'd do something for the business. I work in the shop, and then after that, I'd go to the gym, and then after the gym, I go home. And like I just that was the that was the system that worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And little did I know, I was doing all the main things I had to do. Like I was hitting the gym, I was working, I was also working on other side of goals, and so I was like, really, those are the main three components in anyone's day. It doesn't matter if you get up at 3 in the morning, if you get up at 3 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever, if you're up for say 16 or 18 hours, what did you do in that time? And
Mm-hmm.
whatever works for you, what you operate the best on, do that. So that's where I've been. So
Yeah.
I've been like,
Hmm.
just letting my body just naturally do its thing. And I find that I naturally wake up at around 10, 11 a.m. So like I'm just supposed to sleep it until noon, man.
Hmm.
But the craziest thing is I'm up till 2, 3 in the morning, like lit, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and then I sleep, and then I get up, and like now I'm building the schedule out for what I'm about to do. And I'm like, so what I can do is I can say wake up, eat, go hit the gym, and then say go do some cuts, and then for the rest of the night, all the content that I created, I can just whiz that up for the rest of the night.
Mm. Yeah, that's it's really interesting that you say that. Like I've kind of gone through a similar spot too, because like the first 8, 9 months of the year, it's like I was getting up at like 4:15, hitting the gym for 2 hours,
Yep.
and then working for like 10, coming home, and then just like eat dinner, go to bed.
Hmm.
And it was awesome. Like I was in the zone, stuff like that. And then I was on it's funny. I signed up a client a couple weeks ago, and she'd been watching like my YouTube videos and stuff like that, and some of the day in the lives where it's like literally getting up at 5 because like that's what I was doing. Like that
100%.
wasn't like
Wasn't faking it. You were
no,
living it.
exactly. I was
I seen you there
100%
at the
genuine.
gym.
Yes, every single morning, 6 days a week.
Yeah, bro. Fuck yeah.
And anyways, we had the call. It was like 1 or 2 p.m. my time, and like she signed up, and I was like, awesome. Well, super stoked. Like I'm gonna hit the gym right now. And she's like, really? She's like, oh, I thought you would have done that in the morning. I'm like, oh. She like kind of called me. I was like, oh shit, yeah. But I kind of like switched it up a little bit. I was like, well, now that I'm like building a company, what's my primary objective? It's not my health and my fitness anymore, because like if I'm getting up super early, hitting the gym hard for like an hour and a half, 2 hours,
Yep.
like that takes a lot of my energy away.
Lots.
And then yeah, maybe I could work for a few hours, and then I just like crash,
Oh, bro.
and now I'm done. I got 3 hours of productive work in me a day. I was like, that's not sustainable. It's like, so what I've been doing recently is like waking up and just
Yep.
working till I get everything done.
Yep.
And then after I'm done work for the day, then I was like, all right, cool. If it's 1 o'clock right now in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, cool. I've done everything I wanted to do today. Let's go to the gym,
Yep.
go nuts, and then come home and do whatever I want.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep.
And it's like, that's like ideal
Mm-hmm.
for me right now.
I can see how it makes you happy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's perfect.
And like you say, like the thing, if you know, and the way that we're training hard. So like try to max out, hit PRs every day, type of shit, or personal
Every day.
best.
Yeah.
So I heard this podcast, or it was a reel with I was this UFC fighter, but he said that
Mm.
all they did is he said you trained and slept. They trained, slept, and ate, trained, slept, and ate. And I know like those days that we go to the gym, so be there at 5, and we train like psychopaths. I remember lots of times. I remember thinking, I remember you saying like, "Oh, I got booked out sales calls for today," and I remember thinking in my head, I was like, "I don't know how Jeremy's gonna do this because I'm going home to sleep, bro, because I am
Yeah.
fucking spent."
Yeah.
Like after that workout, like I was done. Like I need to sleep for at least 4 hours,
Yeah.
5 hours before I could be productive again. Because I'd just be sitting at my desk with my head nodding.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's funny you say that. And like,
you can't have that.
no, no, especially if like, because the work I'm doing now is way different than the work I was doing before.
Yep.
Before, I was only making money if I was on a Zoom call talking to somebody, whether it was getting paid like for coaching calls or commission for sales calls.
Yep.
If I'm not doing that, then I'm not making any money. So there's not much leverage to that, and that's kind of why I decided, like why I knew I had to take that step to
Mm.
like a higher leverage opportunity
Mm-hmm.
right now. Um, but because it's like, all right, I've got 8 sales calls in my calendar today. It's like I can't no show them. I can't no show them on my sales call. And if I'm gonna like, so either way, I'm like I'm forced to be there talking to somebody. I've got a meeting. Okay, got it. I got to be there. But now the work that I'm doing is like I've got 10 hours with nothing on the calendar, and it's just like deep intellectual work where I have to like build out a course or figure out like or like make content or like record a module or a YouTube video or a reel or something like that. So it's like extremely unstructured.
Mm.
And when you don't when I lack that structure, it's really easy to go have a 4 hour nap after the gym in the
Bro.
morning. Whereas before,
Bro.
I didn't have the option. I didn't have the
Yes.
luxury of having the option.
Yes.
And one thing that's kind of been helping me like gain some of that structure is like having set meetings or set calls whether it's like with a mastermind group that I'm doing right now, where we're meeting like Monday morning, 6 a.m. my time.
Yep.
And like what that does is like it holds me accountable to go to bed early the night before,
Yep.
get enough sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm up at 6,
Yep.
boom, like mastermind for 30, 60 minutes.
Yep.
And it's like, all right,
Now
let's
you get the
work.
day going.
Let's work.
Yep.
But without that, like it's really hard. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle too, especially just kind of getting started and developing the habit of like the skills of discipline, consistency, and just actually like integrity, following through and doing the things that you told yourself you're going to do.
Yep.
When you lack order, it's just all chaos and nothing happens.
Yep.
And like, so if you have kind of like a starting point and like an end point kind of towards the day, it
Mm-hmm.
helps.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, my end point is like, it's based around the gym. So at like between like 3:30 and like 5:30 or 6, the gym is packed. All the 9 to 5ers, all this high school kids going to the
Yep.
gym after school, after work.
Yep.
And it's just like there's a million people in there and it's like I don't want to be there. So it's like I got to go to the gym at like 1 or 2 to beat that. So that means I got to get all my work done before that. Because I know once I go to the gym, dude, in the afternoon, I get home, I'm not doing anything.
That's it, man.
I'm done.
That's it.
I'm spent.
For the
I'm
day.
tired. Just want to chill,
Yep.
eat dinner. Like, that's it,
Yep.
So it's like it's good to have those boundaries, that order amongst all the chaos.
Big
If that
time.
makes sense.
Big time. Because like you say, like getting to have your own schedule, like you said, when you had a specific call to be at, then that keeps you. Or like say when we were like be at the gym at 5 in the morning, right? So we had to, because we're little did we know it, deep down inside we're holding each other accountable,
Yeah.
right? Because you're like, oh, I didn't want to let you down, that type of thing. That, oh, I'm not in the gym. But I was thinking, like, that's even myself. Say when I had my shop here, I knew I had to be there at 9 a.m. every morning. That said on the door that I was going to be there, so I had to be there.
Yeah.
Right. And then when say days are like I look at my schedule, I'm like, oh, I got nothing, no calls, no nothing. Well, if you didn't really weren't disciplined with going to the gym or this and that, then that couch is right there. So that's a tough
Yeah.
thing, right? So that's why even
Yeah.
myself, I find that like I have to be busy. I have to be busy all the time.
Yeah.
Because if not, then I if I have too much free space, then I could just end up not utilizing it properly.
It breeds complacency.
For sure.
But when you're busy and you've got a lot of shit going on, I think that's one of the reasons why I like 75 hard so much. Like today's day 53. I did it for over half the year last year.
Yep.
And a couple of the phases of live hard, like the next iteration of it, I've added a bunch more shit to it. But like because it gives me that structure and it makes me busier.
Structure for your day.
So then it's like, fuck, I gotta get 2 workouts in today. I gotta read, I gotta visualize, I gotta do all this stuff, and I gotta do all this stuff for my business. It's like I gotta go. I can't afford to waste some time. I can't afford to sleep on the couch. It's like the more I kind of stack on my plate. Now that I've built the initial skills of discipline and like showing up consistently every day, now it's just like kind of optimizing each day as it comes. But like
tweaking it, fine tuning it.
Yeah, and there's definitely days where there's resistance. I'll tell you that. Where I'm like, fuck, why am I doing this? Or it's like, go do a workout right now. Whereas like, or I could crank out another YouTube video, or I could crank out another module, right? And there's kind of like that dichotomy, that fight between like, I've already made the commitment, like to do 75 hard. I'm finishing it.
Yep.
Like I don't get the luxury of choosing that day. Oh, I think I might quit today. I think I might fail. No, I already decided 53 days ago that I was going to do it.
Yep.
So I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And after I do it this time, I don't know if I'll start it again, because the season that I'm in right now, it's like I'm disciplined. I'm consistent. I've got those skills built. Those are dialed in.
Yep.
Now I need to just apply it and channel that focus into actually like really scaling my business.
Yes.
So it's like,
yes,
rather than 2 workouts a day, it's like, fuck, why don't I do 2 YouTube videos a day?
Right.
Imagine if I was doing that.
Yes.
Right.
Shifting your energy in different places.
Yeah.
100%. And that's the biggest thing is that me and my sister were talking about is like Bruce Lee says, you have to be like water. You do. You have to just be able to
Mm.
flow with whatever's going on. You have to see like, oh, that's not really working for me right now. This would work better. I'm gonna do that. But having the awareness and being smart enough to know that,
Yeah.
and then to be disciplined enough to not do those things that say, selfish desires that well, if you're like completely blew days off and you went on a bender and stuff like that. But the reason why we're in this position and we have the opportunities that we've been given is because we've put in that work that we can handle the opportunity. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
guy who just read this amazing book by this author named Joseph Bennett. And what he said is he was channeling God in it. But what he said in this book was he said at the start, it says, who are you? Who are you to be chosen and under the circumstances you've been born under, where you've been, places you've been, all these different certain things, the person you are today, the gifts and experiencing that you're get the abundance that you get to have, as there's hundreds of millions of others that don't.
Mm.
And I started thinking, I was like, yeah, because life is amazing. And for some it's not quite at this level, but there's some people that are in Dubai that are born into lavish lifestyles and no stress, or everyone has their stress and their problems, but
Mm-hmm.
so I think about it, I'm like, that's a great question.
Mm.
Who are you to? So then I started thinking about it. I started thinking about like when I was a kid. Now, with my older sister, she kind of bucked the system a little more. So I was always a lot more go with the flow, because what I had noticed is that my parents were always wanting to give me things, but they only really give me those things when I actually deserve them, right?
Mm.
So then I would notice, like, say for example, I was just thinking about this the other day. My dad would come in or be later in the evening, and he'd say, I got these 5 or 6 things that I want to post on Kijiji. Could you put these on Kijiji for me? And every time I'd say, give them to me. I don't care. I'll do it right now. I just would do it. Whatever my parents had asked me to do, I just did it without question
Mm.
for them, because then I noticed that they would kind of look at me and be like, "Wow, Kyle's a really good kid. He always does what we ask of him. He never bickers, he never complains, and what we always ask for him is always the best." So they just kept giving me more.
Mm.
So then I realized, I was like, that when they'd ask me to do things, I'd do them. And then when it would come time that I wanted something, if I wanted a new bike or something like that, I wouldn't really have to pry that hard and I'd have it, because they would always think, well, Kyle, this year, he never gave us any trouble. So we'll just give him what he wants. So
Mm.
I think about that. I'm like, that same question, who are you? I'm like, why do I have the things that I have in my life and get what I want? It's because when that call rings, I fucking answer it. And whatever he tells me to do, I
Yeah.
just do it. Like, like blindly,
Yeah.
just do it. And I've been doing that for years. And I was thinking about it as like, that's why there's people that are in a position that they want to be in, is because they listen, they do. There's like there's a will for you to get done, and there's other people like, I'm doing that, I'm doing it this way,
Mm.
and they're like, why doesn't anything ever fucking work for me? It's like, I wonder why, because you're not going with the flow of life.
Yeah. They're trying to swim
You're trying
upstream.
to swim upstream instead of just flowing.
Yeah.
You're trying to change state and become something different and buck
Remi-
the system.
Reminds me of the book Reality Transurfing. And it's all about like transurfing
Mm,
through reality and how to like kind of bend reality to your own will rather than swimming upstream. So
mm.
then it's just a breeze.
It's a breeze.
Yeah.
The path, like, that's the one thing is I've been thinking about a lot lately, is like, that's why I don't even really like going on social media much anymore, is because I see people are like, uh don't take the path of least resistance, take the path that builds the most character, all this fucking bullshit. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, there's, if when it's time for you to be that disciplined person and put in that work, do the 75 hard, like, you'll be
Mm.
inspired and want to do it.
Yeah.
You will want to do it. That means that's the path of least resistance. It's like saying, like, going up to someone who says, okay, you got to do 75 hard, and they're like, I don't want to fucking do that. No, you're gonna do it. Like, I don't want to. Now
Yeah.
that's the path of resistance, right?
100%.
So doing hard things, a lot of people think, I think a lot of the times, a lot of people think they're like, oh, you have to, like, doing hard things is going against that's not the path of least resistance. No, at that time it is for you, right? Like at the start of this year, when we
Yeah.
were going to the gym at when we were at the gym at 5 in the morning, I wasn't that wasn't like I was swimming upstream for me. Like that was like like knew like that's what I needed to be doing, and it was
Yeah.
fun. It was
Yeah.
I remember I couldn't even sleep some nights because I was so excited to go hit the gym.
Dude, literally same. I remember laying in bed, just like visualizing
The lift,
the lift in the morning, hitting chest,
yeah,
hitting legs, whatever. Just like, bro, like,
pumped for it,
yeah.
right?
But
And
that's a great way to put it, man. The path of least resistance is what you're inspired to do and what you actually want to do.
want to do.
Not the thing it's like just easy.
Exactly. And that's where
Wow.
people get that messed up
Yeah.
because like the path of least resistance that I went down, like all of this stuff that I had to do, like this is stuff that I want to do.
Yeah.
It's not stuff that I don't want to do. It's like, and it's all stuff. It's like, and some of these things to somebody else would be like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like what we're doing right now. Like
yeah,
this, there's no resistance here.
no,
We want to do. We voluntarily been doing this for months. We just
mm-hmm,
haven't been recording it.
exactly.
And
But you could have somebody else that says, "Oh, you want to get on?" But like, I don't know, I would. And
yeah,
if you put them on it, they feel like then
yeah. Oh, I
they'd be what's
have to
right
do
for
this
them.
thing tonight,
Mm-hmm.
rather than like, dude, I can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah,
I get to do this.
yeah,
I get to do this.
exactly.
So that's like the mindset I think about is like what that guy was saying in that book is like, no, I get to do these things.
Mm,
And there's like, and that's the thing is like, who? So I really been asking myself the question, who am I? Because of all the blessings and things I've been receiving, that's what I think. I'm like, well, I'm like, they were given to me as a gift. Like say this month for yourself that you had an
mm-hmm.
amazing month, and no one could, there could be some people could be insecure about or jealous of the success you've had, but it's like that was those are the gifts that were given to you because you answered the call when he was calling saying, yo, go on your own, do your own thing, do these types of things. You were just like, okay, blind faith, didn't know what to see, what was going to happen. But now look at, now could you even say right now to say 3 months ago, the position that you're in today, would you say that it's even better than you expected it to be?
Way better,
There you go.
miles ahead,
That's how it
dude.
always works.
Yeah. When you're in the moment 3 months ago, you're
Oh,
scared.
you're scared, man.
Scared little boy, just like in the fog, just
What's
like
going to happen?
blindly trying to feel like where the
Yeah.
next, what the next step is.
So it's like I say that
Yeah.
analogy, the caterpillar. So the caterpillar, like they say, with all animals in nature, they operate off of instinct, right? Which is it's so true, but we don't. We're the only ones that have our own will that we can decide. No, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not doing that. But so the caterpillar, he
Mm.
knows at that specific time that he goes into the cocoon and it's
Mm.
dark and he actually can't see anything. Do you imagine how scary that would be for him?
Mm.
He has no clue what's about to happen, and then boom, turns into a beautiful butterfly. So but it's like us though, we know the unknown is there and we're too scared to step into it.
We want to stay the
We want
caterpillar.
to stay the caterpillar, but now look at the beautiful butterfly.
That's right.
And that happens over and over and over and over and over again in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm like when I'm a caterpillar, but then I have the ability to get into the unknown and jump in that cocoon. Fuck, sign me up.
Yeah, me too.
Sign me up.
Well, I think that's a great point to wrap things
Yes,
up with,
sir.
Kyle.
Yeah.
Pleasure, man.
Hey, brother. It's always a good time.
Always.
Thanks for listening. And we got lots more coming because it just keeps coming out. So we're not gonna stop.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you. We'll see you in the next one.
Hey, thanks for listening.